Retirement planning today can go one of two ways. It can be daunting and overwhelming, or it can be exciting and give you a newfound sense of adventure. Hi, my name is Eric Kearney, President and Senior Investment Advisor of Retirement Wealth. With planning for a long-term retirement today, with everyone's unique goals and objectives, you need a long-term written strategy that's going to be built custom for you. So with today's world, you've got market volatility, interest rate changes, inflationary issues, and world events going on all the time. So you want to make sure that you find someone that you can trust, who has a fiduciary responsibility, is an independent advisor that's always looking out for you. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's begin Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney.
You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's retirement television. He's an author, a radio host, a fiduciary, and Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Here's Senior Investment Advisor Eric Kearney.
Hello, I'm Wendy Falk, and welcome to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. I'm here with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Oh, thanks, Wendy. Thanks for having me.
It's great for you to be here. Today, we're going to talk about some topics that are going to help you plan for a successful retirement. First on the list is, those were the days, Eric. It's not the day of our father's retirement anymore, is it?
That's for sure, Wendy. So times are changing. So since my parents retired, my parents actually had a very simple retirement. There was really no financial planning done. They traveled a few places, but it was a very basic retirement. A lot of people back then had Social Security and pensions that they lived on. But now today, our retiree is changing significantly. We are living a much more dynamic lifestyle. And so the interesting thing about today's is, this is not your father's retirement. We're living a lot longer. People are taking better care of themselves. We are living and traveling a lot more. We may have two homes. We are just living a lot more of a better lifestyle. So we have to be able to plan for that. And in today's retirement, that retirement could last anywhere from 25 to 30 years. That's a really long time.
It is a long time. And you touched on something very important there. People are living longer, so they're going to have to plan for that, aren't they?
Yeah, so medical changes are happening all the time, and there's a lot of times where all of a sudden there's an artificial part for just about every single part of the body. So we are living longer. Think about how many of your friends and family don't smoke anymore. There's a lot of people that are just realizing that we have one body, we've got to take care of that body, and so we are living a lot longer, and we have to be able to, again, plan for that.
Yes. And most times, well, all of the time, when people retire, Medicare becomes their main source of insurance. Do they need to make plans? Because as we know, Medicare doesn't cover all their medical costs.
Yeah, that's the one thing. People are really excited about getting to the age of 65, where now no longer I have to pay for health care. But there's a lot of things that Medicare doesn't cover. And so what Medicare doesn't cover is actual foot care. And a lot of times as we get older, you see people out there that aren't walking as well, but they can't afford good foot care. They also don't have dental care. And dental care, we now know that if you don't take care of your teeth and your gums, that's actually going to lead to bigger problems. And so we want to be making sure that we're taking care of our entire body. And Medicare, not only does it not take care of everything, but there's also a cost to Medicare. So we've got to be prepared for that as well.
That's true, Eric. What about, you touched also on, we need to take care of ourselves. As an investment advisor, do you give that advice to people that come into your office?
A little bit. Look, the thing is that financial planning is not all about monetary issues. It's also about lifestyle planning. So there's a lot of times where somebody gets through retirement, you have to have something to retire from to have something to retire to. So there's a lot of times where we want to make sure that that person is staying busy, they're staying healthy, they're still challenging themselves. So it's not only financially, it's mentally, emotionally, and physically. So there's a lot of different sides to retirement that we have to address, I believe. believe.
There is. And time is of the essence when you're planning for retirement. Isn't that true, Eric?
Yeah, true. So there's different points in retirement that we have to really pay attention to. And one thing is that we're actually addressing the different stages of your retirement. So time is of the essence, and we want that client to understand all throughout their retirement what's happening at the different stages of retirement. So we're always paying attention to that time in that financial plan and the income plan as well.
And Eric, you also mentioned that there's more to retirement than just money.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of times we haven't been able to do a lot of the things that we wanted to do. So there's a lot of my clients that are now doing mission work, or they're doing a lot of volunteering. They still want to give back to the community. They still feel like they can give something back to themselves, and now they have the time to be able to do that. So a lot of times people want to make sure that they're okay financially and monetarily, but they also want to get back out into the community and take care of those in need as well.
Eric, you were talking about people doing mission work and volunteering,
Yeah.
but you still have to plan for your future. Isn't that right?
That's so true. So there's a lot of times where you do go through different stages in retirement. As an investment advisor who has the huge, awesome responsibility of managing one's retirement, we still have to make sure that we're evolving with that financial plan and making sure that all throughout the different stages of retirement, that financial plan and that income plan is still meeting all of their goals and objectives. So while people are out there enjoying their retirement, we are always still planning for their future, Wendy.
That's great, Eric. And wouldn't you say that in retirement, there is really no time for regret? So you need to plan and get prepared.
Absolutely. So all of our clients, when they come in, we talk about regrets in the past. And sometimes some people want to say, hey, we want to fix those. But for the most part, they really want to plan out their retirement and they don't want to have any regrets. So this is actually the time, if they've ever wanted to go to Croatia or visit the national parks, this is where we actually encourage them to do that. So no regrets, Wendy.
That's awesome, Eric. Lots of great information today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Wendy.
We want to help you with all of your retirement needs and planning. Please give our office a call or visit our website and we'll start a conversation. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams? Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you. They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy. Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement. Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Not having a clearly defined financial plan is a mistake that I commonly see with new people in my office. It's very rare that someone actually comes in that already has an existing financial plan that's written for his or her own retirement. If you've never had a written financial plan and you've saved at least $500,000 for retirement, be one of the next 10 callers, and this is what you're going to receive. You'll receive a mutual discovery, a method to attain your goals, a mastermind plan. We'll monitor and manage your situation, and lastly, mentor your legacy. In formula, the first 4 letters are form. We're going to focus on family, occupation, recreation, and money. You'll also receive your very own income plan, and we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to help take all the guesswork out of financial planning. So again, if you've saved at least $500,000 for retirement, be one of the next 10 callers. Strive for excellence. Your wealth deserves it. So often when I travel, I'm often asked, Eric, what do the wealthy do differently? And it's typically someone who's already wealthy that's already asking me that because they want to make sure that they're not missing out on something. One thing that the wealthy do differently, though, is they have 3 requirements of a strategy. Those 3 key elements are, number 1, an identifiable goal. Number 2, a method to attain that goal. And number 3, they're applying the competencies and resources to sustain that strategy. Now think about this. You can apply this to anything in your personal life, but how does that come into play with financial planning? Well, when we sit down with a client, we have to come up with an identifiable goal. Exactly what are you trying to accomplish? Number 2, we want to build a strategy and a plan. We want to come up with a method to be able to attain that goal. And number 3, you want to make sure that you have somebody that is competent, has the competencies, has the resources to be able to sustain that strategy. So those are 3 key elements that the wealthy really do differently. So strive for excellence. Your wealth deserves it.
We're back, and you're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. Eric, we've talked a lot about retirement, but as you and I've discussed in the past, there are stages to retirement. 3 of them, to be exact. Would you like to elaborate on those?
Yeah, sure, Wendy. So we do have 3 stages. And the thing is that we really have to concentrate about your stages of retirement. There's a lot of people that get into retirement, but they don't understand the different stages that you actually have. So Wendy, there's 3 stages that we actually pay attention to, and you're gonna have monetary differences between each one that we have to plan for. The first one is gonna be your go-go years.
Sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun, right? So what we're doing in those years is that's when we're doing a lot of international traveling. We're spending more time with our kids. Sometimes we still have a home in the Midwest or up north, and we're still coming back down here. So we have the time and we have the ability, the physical ability to do all this big travel and really do the things that we couldn't do when we were working. The nice thing about this is that what we do is we plan for that time frame. We understand that they may be traveling to Greece or Italy. We understand that they have to maintain 2 homes. Maybe they have a boat down here. There's a lot of different things that we really have to pay attention to. So the go-go years are sometimes pretty expensive, and we want to understand how we plan for them. So we get excited about that stage too.
That sounds great. How do you prepare people? You don't really know how long those go-go years are going to last. So how do you prepare for, those are going to be kind of the spending years. How do you make that plan for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we're doing is it's all about your goals, objectives, and needs. The other important thing is, though, as an investment advisor and a financial planner, we really have to pay attention to the what ifs. And the what ifs can really creep in for a lot of people. So it's our job to be able to connect the points that a lot of people aren't able to do. And so we have to show them what could possibly happen and make sure that we don't have a financial hurdle. So that's critical.
That sounds great, Eric. Now, stage number 2 would be the slow go years.
The slow go years. And you know, Wendy, it's okay to have the slow go years. And there's a lot of people that think, oh, I don't really want to go from my go-go years to my slow go years. But actually, as we get older, it's progressively okay to do that. Now, all of a sudden, we may go back down to 1 home instead of having 2 homes. Instead of traveling all that international travel with all the hustle and bustle, now maybe we just want to travel domestically, visit our national parks, and actually take trains somewhere, and it's okay to be able to slow down. And so now what we want to do is we want to start to be a little bit more comfortable. And a lot of times, if we're not traveling, all of a sudden our expenses may change towards to making sure that our home is compatible to live in as we start to get a little more older, and we want to make sure that things are okay. We want to be ultra comfortable. And so the slow go years, we start to slow down, but we're still having a lot of fun. So I enjoy those years just as much.
That's good to hear, because it's going from the go-go's to the slow go. I could see you think, gosh, I still want to have a good time.
For sure, yeah. My clients want to be prepared. They want to have longevity. They want to have a great retirement, but they want to be prepared for all those different stages of life.
Sounds great. Well, now the third and final stage of retirement would be called the no-go years.
Right. So we call those years the no-go years or won't-go years. And I'll tell you, that's okay then too, because at that point, we just want to be really comfortable. We want to make sure that we have good health. We want to make sure that we have home health care available to us if we need it. And we just want to be able to live our life the best way that we can. We're not running all over the place, but again, now we're getting to a point, Wendy, where we could be financially vulnerable because now we realize we can't go back to work. So in the won't go years, we've already defined who we are financially. So we know that we're not going to go back to work. Now we really have to rely on that income. And I'll tell you, this is where income planning and showing you where all the stages in life is so critical. And yet there's so many people out there that don't have a written financial plan that goes into their 95s and 96s and 97 years of age. So what we're doing is we're creating that income plan. We're showing them you're going to be okay when you get into those won't go years. So all through the stages, you're going to have different needs, goals, and objectives. And we've got to make sure that we're going to plan for those the best way that we can.
I can see it would probably be really great for people to come and see you, and they know that you've taken all that into consideration before you make their plan up.
Yeah, the nice thing is that we've brought on a lot of staff members who are very capable of completing financial plans, income plans, what-if plans, and throwing in different scenarios, Wendy, because people sometimes don't realize what financial hurdles they have ahead, and we really have to be their financial advocate to really make sure that we're encompassing all of their needs in there. And there's a lot of times where people don't understand what needs they have, and we actually have to be able to point them out. So those are the 3 stages of retirement, and we bring them up to everyone that comes into our office.
That's a lot of great information, Eric. We want to help you with all of your retirement questions and planning. Please visit our website or call our office, and we'd like to get that conversation started. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Coming up next, my favorite part, questions from you and answers from me. Stay tuned.
Do you have questions about your retirement? Do you need a second opinion? Do you have a clear-cut income or financial plan? At Retirement Wealth Advisors, Eric Kearney and his dedicated team are committed to your financial success. As an independent fiduciary advisor, law and license require that they put your best interest first. Don't hesitate to plan for your retirement and financial future for one more minute. Visit our website or give Eric and his team a call at 1-800-779-1942. That's 1-800-779-1942. You'll get the second opinion that you need and the peace of mind that you deserve. You know, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Eric, this is one of my favorite parts of the show. We get questions from our viewers and you give them their answers.
Yeah, I like this part too.
I do too. Don't be afraid to send us your questions at the email listed on the screen, because maybe you'll get your question on the air next week. Eric, let's start with question number 1. This is Glennis from Punta Gorda, Isles. Glennis says, I'm 62 and I've invested a lot into short-term bond funds. Should I be moving to cash?
So, Wendy, this is something that we get a lot. So, Glennis, you're already in a fixed income portfolio that has a lot of interest rate risk right now. Now, all of a sudden, you want to go backwards even more and into cash. And so people want that instant gratification, Wendy. They're like, I want to put my money in cash and I'm safe. And you might be safe for relatively a short period of time. But unfortunately, there's 2 things out there that's going to wreak havoc in your portfolio. You're going to have a loss of opportunity in the market, and also you're going to have inflation. Now, inflation is kind of like an acorn, starts out very small, but with the right growth, it could turn into a mighty oak tree. And so inflation is actually something that really eats away and actually reduces our opportunity for gains. And so being in cash, there's a lot of actual risk of being in there. And what happens is that when people come in with cash, I realize they don't have a financial plan, they don't have an income plan, and whatever they've done in the past has not worked out very well for them. So they actually are gun shy about doing any kind of investing. So my suggestion would be meet with 3 independent investment advisors who have a fiduciary responsibility, see who you actually are going to feel comfortable with working with and slowly step back into the market. So you really have to stay out of cash for long term because that's really critical to your retirement success. That's a really good question.
Yes. Eric, let's go back because you touched on something called fiduciary obligations.
Yes.
Maybe some of our viewers aren't familiar with that. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely, Wendy, because this is actually very important. You want to make sure that you're working with a fiduciary advisor. And what that means is by law and license, we have to put the client's best interest first. There's a lot of advisors out there who are working under a suitability factor. They just have to put something in that's suitable for you. Whereas an independent fiduciary advisor, we're always looking out for your best interest. So again, by license and law, you want to find a fiduciary for your financial planning needs.
That's good to know. Okay, we'll move on to question number 2. We've got a question from Steve in Fort Myers Beach. Steve says, how do I find the right financial advisor for me? Well, Steve, you call 1-800-779-1942 and talk to Eric.
That's right.
Yeah. So he says he's been personally referred, looked online with web searches, but none of this is helping me find the right qualified financial advisor that's right for me. What can I do to find the right advisor?
Yeah, so remember, Wendy, this is actually a very intimate relationship that you're entering into. This is a financial relationship. You're turning over all of your life savings to this person and this firm. So the thing is that people are always surprised when I say you actually want to find 3 qualified advisors that you're interested in working with, see what their service looks like, see what process they have in place, take a look at their fees, call referrals. I have no problems with our new clients calling referrals, and these are long-time referrals because you don't want to just call somebody who you've been working with for a year. You want to call someone who you've been working with for 10 or 12 years and say, yeah, I've been working with Eric for a long time and they've done a great job for me and I'm not going anywhere, right? So the thing is, again, it's a little bit of work, but you want to find 3 advisors, interview them, and see who's really a good fit. At the same time, we're also seeing if that client's a good fit as well. And there's a lot of advisors out there who will take on anybody that walks through the door. We have an investment minimum, Wendy. So what we're doing is when that client comes in, we're actually interviewing them to see if they're a good fit for us, just like we would be a good fit for them. And that's when you know that you're working with a really good quality advisor because, again, they want that relationship to work long term. And anytime that we take on a client, we expect it to be for life. So again, we want to provide all that financial planning, income planning, so that they have everything at their needs.
That's great to know. And you're going to be a part of their family. I mean, you're planning the rest of their life and their family's life too.
Yeah, so we get really involved with families. I mean, they become our friends, our very good friends, and we are like a family here. You know, I mean, when somebody calls me, I know exactly who it is. And so the thing is that we want to get to know them on a very personal basis. That way I understand their life as well, and I understand exactly what their needs and objectives are too. So yeah, getting to know them intimately is great.
Well, Steve, I hope that helps you out with your question. Gary in Clewiston is our next question. Says, my spouse and I are 79 and 77 years old. We have $2 million in assets and want to transfer some of that to our grandchildren when we pass. Instead of giving them each a set amount all at once, is it possible to give them certain amounts over the years?
Oh, yeah. This is a great question. So again, you want to provide them with living benefits and you actually want to give them some money and you actually can see them enjoy that money. You can see them enjoying that gift. So there's a lot of times, again, through mentoring the legacy, what we're trying to do is making sure that your money is doing whatever you want it to do in your lifetime and then also after you've passed away. So again, doing a legacy plan for everyone is something that we actually do. It's the very end of that financial planning process, but it's definitely something that we want to do. So that's a great question. And you also want to have binary options for that too, Wendy, is that you can say, look, we're not just giving you one option. We want to give you multiple options for your legacy, and you can pick and choose really whatever you think is best for you.
I think it's great that you give people that option because it's so much nicer to see your family when they're enjoying the money that you've, gifted them.
Right, right.
Okay, we've got one more question. Roland in Venice says, I've heard that the current retirement advice is to have $1 million saved for retirement. We have a guaranteed income of 80% of our current working income, 2 pensions funds, and railroad retirement. We'll probably never take Social Security. We do not have $1 million saved for retirement, although we are nearing retirement age. Does the advice of saving the $1 million for retirement apply to our situation?
Well, everyone's situation is different, Wendy. I mean, you've been with me long enough and you've seen pretty much every scenario walk through the door. The biggest thing is that when people come in, it's always lots of different holdings. Some people have pensions, some people don't have pensions. Some people have very little Social Security, while the husband may have a lot of Social Security. There's always a lot of different moving parts. And that's kind of the nice thing about this business is that everybody that comes in has a completely different situation. What is congruent, though, is everyone's getting a financial plan. So again, we're starting off at the top, asking a lot of questions. The more questions that we actually answer, the more it funnels down to exactly what your needs are. And then at that time, we can actually say, look, these are your options. Which ones do you like best? And also, which ones are going to last the longest too, right? So it sounds like he's got a lot of different options that we can go with. It's just going to say, okay, let's do the financial plan. Let's see where it takes us, and let's get through those financial hurdles.
Lots of great answers to the questions today, Eric. If you've got questions, again, visit our website and submit your questions, and hopefully we'll be answering it on the next show.
That'd be a lot of fun.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course, or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams? Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you. They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy. Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement. Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Thank you so much for watching today. If you've seen anything that you liked, or you have any questions, or you want to get your very own M5 formula, please visit our website or give us a call today. We'd love to start a conversation.
You know, you only retire at once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great day and an even better retirement.